guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am joined by HellHades. Hades, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to this one, as ever.
Yeah, man. I love collabs, dude. They're really fun. Yeah. You know, we're going to do one on your channel as well. We're going to make this a half and halfer. So the first half of these factions, we're going to talk about all the epics, basically the top 5, and we're going to take turns kind of going in every single faction. Epic champions that we would max, like no questions asked. Our favorite, like if we pulled them on a free-to-play or on our main accounts, whatever, we're maxing these champions out. But let me first congratulate you, sir. How cool was it to have Plarium make us into champions?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what your problem is, but you need to solve it now.
I've seen your video, actually. Yeah. Very
well,
cool.
I did, dude, I was like, I feel like an idiot because I made my video pretending that they made me into Ashwalker, right? Pretending that this is me. A lot of people who watched that really thought I was serious there, but hey, you never know. You never know, right? And then I feel awful because everybody in the comments telling me they turned you into a champion as well. Hell Freak, bro. Hell Freak. Did you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
I didn't know. No.
I mean, obviously, it's a big nod. What's this faction again, Hell Freak? Is he a
Demon Spawn?
Okay,
Demon
obviously,
Spawn,
right?
yeah.
Come on, Ash. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so this is you. Obviously behind that helmet somewhere, and yeah. So I thought that was
I had to
pretty
work
funny.
out a bit to squeeze into the outfit, but
oh well, yeah, man. I mean, you've obviously been working on the abs there.
His name is John C.
So anyway, jokes aside, let's go ahead and jump into this, man. Let's start with Shadowkin. Want to start from the bottom going up, and then we'll I guess we'll stop around after Orcs, and then we'll do the top 7 or so on your channel. All right.
Perfect.
So Shadowkin faction. This is the newest faction. This is, I think, that my weakest faction in terms of I have not maxed as many epics here as the other factions. But why don't you kick things off, man? You're the guest. We'll kind of alternate who goes first. Who is your first auto max out here in terms of epic champions?
Well, I feel like, considering they're all new champions, I would expect all of them to be like great because they're kind of like pounding the epics out with some good abilities. But for me, these aren't as great. Like these aren't as good as I would hope they would be. And I mean, one that stands out for me as a great one is Gimbo.
Yeah,
like just smacks hard. He's got that kind of like counter skull crown.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
Ability within his kit, counter swift parry within his kit, and a lot of fun. Like, he just looks cool. Yeah, and he does a lot of work. Like this guy, I know he's Void, but he would absolutely be the first one on the list for me to max out in this faction. Yeah,
absolutely. It's all because of this passive here. I mean, not all because of it. He does a ton of damage on top of that, but he's a cool looking champion too, man. I agree with you. He would be my first pick as well. I guess my second pick would be, I don't know if it's cheating, including Doom Tower champions, but I'm going to include them anyway. And I'd take Taya. She behind Dark Kale, or KL. Like, did you hear them call him KL? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what's that about? Yeah.
This is the hard-hitting questions that we brought you on for. How do you feel about that pronunciation on Kale?
Well, I was just kind of like, have I got it wrong this whole time? So I get a load of pronunciations wrong. Like, I'm terrible at it.
Same. Yeah.
So I was like, have I just had it wrong for like the last 2 years?
Okay. So, but Taya, I guess. Taya. She's my second favorite, I think. She has 3 hits with poison on her A2, and then she has the instant activation of poison and HP burn. She seems like, if Dark Kale wasn't so amazing, she seems like she would be really, really good for Clan Boss and probably other areas as well. Like Dragon, she has decreased accuracy on her A1 as well. So she's a very interesting champion. I like her a lot. So she's my number 2.
How far back is she? Is she like right at the back of the pile?
Dude, that's the problem, right? We might as well talk about it right now.
Oh, when are we gonna see you? See you in 2 years.
I have her scheduled in for 2024 on my account. Expect a guide, guys. Subscribe because in 4 years we'll get her. Don't you think that's a big issue? Like, I don't want to go on too many tangents here, but shouldn't they make it where I would love it just champion fragments, Doom Tower fragments, right? And then we can choose how to spend those fragments, right?
Yeah, just pick the one that you want to go for.
Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah, legendary ones and epic ones. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. This is baloney, man. I have to wait 2 years to get Dark Kale. All right, who's number 3? Who you got?
So number 3 for me is actually Taragi the Frog.
Okay, all right.
I was totally sleeping on this guy until Indy came onto my stream and was like, I've got a new clan boss team, and Taragi the Frog was in it, and he's got ally protection, which is kind of broken for clan boss at the minute. He's got poison. He's got decreased attack on a consistent on his A1, and he brings a shield. This dude is like awesome. Like he's honestly a great champion, and I was totally sleeping on him in this faction. But yeah, he's actually one of my most wanted champions, including legendaries on my main.
Wow. Okay, so I have him. I maxed him. Haven't used him yet because I maxed him for stupid clan versus clan. I just wanted to put the books into somebody. I'm sure you've been there. But you're right. His kit looks really cool, and that Toxic Blood passive is obviously perfect synergy for clan boss. Okay, I'll go next. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Burring Geary. Burring Geary, again, he's pretty slow. He looks amazing, but he has a 60% stun damage based on defense on a 3-turn. Not too bad. And then he has a strengthen with a shield on all allies on a 4-turn. So I think he could do a lot worse in terms of like a nice support and crowd control champion. He has like this kind of weird but really strong passive as well. Heals him by 50% of his max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. Kind of cool. Like, it's not like game changing, but it's a cool addition to his kit. So I think he's a solid champion. Has a provoke on his A1 as well.
Yeah, I mean, the stun alone, if you think about the champions we love, Seals, that AoE stun on an epic is big. It's big.
It is. 60% is pretty high too. I want to say I don't think there's an epic. There's probably is there an epic higher than 60%? I can't. I
think Husk is similar, but I don't think
Husk,
higher.
Yeah. You're right. It's similar. Okay, so who do you have for our 5th here? Bring it home on Shadowkin.
So I think I'd go with Hotatsu.
Okay. Good choice.
As the 5th. So, decreased attack AoE, nice. He's got a leech A1, which is cool. So yeah, I just think just a solid champion, a good support unit that's going to come in. Again, like based off defense. So you can build him tanky whilst punching damage. So just a solid unit with a decent passive as well. Just like him. Yeah, I think it's good.
I agree 100%. He's like one of the more used champions who I see in my clan, at least out of the Shadowkin epics, in terms of just getting a lot of use off of that AoE A2 as well. So totally agree with you there. Do you have any like shout outs? Any, I guess Oboro is a shout out, and Shani for me. I guess Oboro, Shani, and Sashi would all be like honorable mentions for me. Do you agree?
I feel like they're all okay, but I honestly don't feel like they're great. Like, other factions, I think, will have more honorable mentions. For this one, not so much really. They're okay.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's move on to Dwarves, man. This is where we can, I'm sure we're very familiar with all of these champions. So I will leave this one off. I'm going to go with Grizzled Jarl because he's just one of my favorite epics in the game, man. Like, I think
he's awesome.
That he is forever underrated just because people don't list him as one of the top champions, and I truly feel like he is for epics, right? He has block debuffs, increased defense, 3-turn cooldown, AoE decreased attack, 100% land rate, and then on the A1 heal reduction, not that you really need it, but easy to keep alive too with the based on defense.
It's a solid champ. I just think block debuffs for your whole team is such a massive skill.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that one skill there makes him strong, but he's got a really good kit, and like you say, underrated all the time.
Yeah, it's nice to have the increased defense, the block debuffs, and decreased attack all in one champion,
Yeah.
All right. Who you have here? Who you have?
I definitely feel like Dwarves have come on as well in like the last few months. Like, there's
Look in here, it's like, wow.
Here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want you to know I hate you.
My one to call out has got to be Geomancer.
Yeah.
He's maybe my favorite epic in the game.
Okay.
Like, I love this guy. He just does so much cool stuff. Mainly around his A3 when he drops the burn, and then his passive starts kicking in, and he's just reflecting that damage. Like, if you've got him in lifesteal set, he's reflecting damage. He's healing off the reflect. If you throw him in destroy set against Starabos, he's busting down that shield. He's just got so much going for him. I love this guy, and
I
the passive as well. It reduces the damage you take. Like, he can kick out more damage than most legendaries on clan boss, on general content. I love him. I absolutely love him.
I agree. Yeah, he really is. And I think this is an overused phrase, but he's legendary-esque, Like, he's a really special epic champion they added this year. I agree with you. He would actually be my first pick, I think. Now looking at him, I was reminded by how amazing he is. All right. I will go with another new champion. I don't have her yet, but the doll, right?
Really?
Camellia.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have her, so that's kind of unfair for me to rank her, but she's very fast and she's incredibly unique, right? The guides that I've seen on her on YouTube have been just really crazy what you can do with her. And I like when they add champions that, I mean, first of all, she's scary as all hell, man. Like, she's like... She
I
is
don't like to look
the
at
thing
that.
of nightmare. I can't. Yeah, I want to cover her up while I talk about her, man. But this whole sleep synergy, right? Like the chance of placing a sleep for all enemies on one turn, that's cool. You can replace it with fear once it breaks, that's really cool. And then the A3, where you have the sleep on an ally with the heal, very, very cool on a 2-turn cooldown. I'm not saying she's game-changing, but she's very fast too, 109 speed, dude.
I do love when they bring some out that's just totally unique, because eventually you find some really cool ways to use them. So I've not used her a ton myself, but I've seen people start to play around with her. And I did say in the original videos, like, she's going to have a use. I don't know what it is yet, but she's going to be crazy in some way. And I think some people are just starting to play around with that.
Yeah, I like the piece of the deep on that that A2. It's pretty cool. But again, I'm not sure if she's necessarily the strongest, but she's very cool. So I'll give her those points. Who you have next here?
So next for me is Fodbor.
Okay.
I mean, I just got to bring him in because AoE, drop defense, 4-turn cooldown is such an important skill in the game anyway, and I think we're probably going to see a few of them through the epics.
Sure.
I feel like they dropped a ton of epics with this skill over the last 6 months, and it's huge. Like, it's such a massive ability in the game. And then he's got a stun and a bit more. He's got a triple hit heal reduction, which is nice for Fire Knight as well. But just that AoE drop defense, 4-turn cooldown, 100% chance to land it if you book it. You need it. You need it in the game. So, and he hits pretty hard. He's got decent multipliers and that behind the kits. Yeah. Looks pretty cool with his pipe.
I like this. I like the look. I really like his look. He's one of my favorite dwarf, like aesthetically looking champions. However, I hate that it's on a 4-turn though. I mean, granted, dwarves didn't have a defense down. I mean, they had what? That's all they had for a defense down, right? That's all they have. So it was very necessary, but it's a bummer with all the 3 turns they've been added to the game that they gave the dwarves a 4-turn. But I agree.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in like the top tier of all epics because there's so many 3s now. But
100%.
I think for the dwarves, he still kind of pops up.
I agree. So there's so many good champions left here, man. I'm feeling the pressure. Man, I like Runekeeper. I like Melga. I mean, honestly, you can make a case for any of these champions. All the voids are solid. But I'm actually going to give it to, in Rearguard Sergeant, like, I'm sure that's who most people would give it to, but I'm going to give it to Rockbreaker, man.
Rockbreaker, I love him.
I feel like Rockbreaker is, like, I said the same thing about Grizzled, but if Grizzled Jarl is underrated, Hades, Rockbreaker is really underrated. First of all, he is, man. I mean, he has 100% provoke on a 3-turn cooldown with a counterattack on himself, which synergizes with his A1 to where he gets more defense. To me, that's a really good set.
Most legendaries don't have that quality of provoke. Like, that's up there. For sure.
Yeah, it's so up there. Like, this is a 3-turn cooldown, guaranteed provoke with a counterattack with increased defense on his A1 with this very, very cool passive that I leaned on heavily. I don't know about you, on my early days, especially of Faction Wars, right? Because that red boss hits hard, So
he was the only way that I beat level 21 the first time round. Like,
Same.
He was absolutely. So I didn't have all the crazy legendaries at that point. He was in there tanking it up. He's a brilliant. I actually had some going back before Plat Arena. When I was really pushing Arena for the first time with epics, he was my epic that did all the work because he hits hard. He hits hard as well. And that counterattack, he is smashing people up. I love him. Yeah, I really love him. He's
such a good champion. Yeah, I totally agree with you. All right, so do you have like a one big honorable mention here that you want to give a shout out to?
Well, or I'd say Melga is just, in terms of like completing this faction for Faction Wars,
have that revive.
2-team revive. It's so good with turn meter and shield as well.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of kind of just shielding and healing. Like, maybe if I'm thinking of my free-to-play account right now, she would possibly be up there as one of the most important dwarves to max. Albeit, I'm thinking she probably could be a level 50 and still be just as good. That's the thing with her. So I don't think you need to max her, but she's quality, like really strong for this faction.
100% agree. All right, I mentioned a few of the other names. There's a lot of good dwarves. So let's move on to Knights Revenant. You're up first on this one, man.
Oh, it's a good faction as well. Look, the one that sticks out to me, I love him. He's Creative Monster.
Okay.
He's just so massive. So this is another one of these champs that's got a good chance to land a stun on an AoE, but the stun also, that ability also throws a shield on your team. So he can be your Scarab boss, kind of shield champion. He can be your spider, absolute like top tier champ. Got an ally protection, got a heal, got a little stun on his A1 as well. Cool passive, fairly unique passive. Just love him. And he looks cool.
Yeah,
he looks super
he
cool.
does. He does. He was, I'm not sure if you remember like what champions were around right when you were really getting into the game, but right when I was really getting into the raid, like after I went through my, am I going to really play this game phase? It was Halloween of 2019. And that's when he and Madame Ceres and Harvest Jack were all released and Brackus, I think.
Great bunch of champs. Actually,
oh yeah. Like, and I was like, wow, like that's, I guess seeing like Madame Ceres and Miscreated Monster, that's what really got me excited. I'm like, I really want these champions, you know?
Yeah.
So totally agree. All right. I'm going to go with Doom Priest, man. I mean, cool. Doom Priest was always a really good champion. I think, you know, maybe for a while underrated, maybe properly rated. I don't know. But now Doom Tower, I think she's like almost quintessential because of this passive. Yeah. There's not a lot more to say about it, but like this passive is so important. I run her in Relentless.
Nothing else matters in a kit, really.
Yeah,
nothing else even makes any difference to what you do.
No.
You just want that passive to go off again and again. Like,
exactly. Yep.
Love it.
So yeah, I just run her in Relentless, and I probably use her in about, you know, at least 3, maybe 4 Doom Tower bosses, you know? So
sure.
She's certainly one of my most used champions. Who do you have as number 3?
Yeah, it's worth saying as well, she could be a 50 and still be like worth having because that passive's so good.
Yeah, just keep her fast, keep her alive,
Yeah. But my number 3 then, so this is actually my first epic I ever got, and she carried my account for a long time, Skull Crown. Okay. Skull Crown is just like an absolute cannon. She's all damage, but she's also got this cool passive that makes her unkillable when she drops low, so she becomes like an arena, just an annoying champion to be up against. She hits so hard. She was my campaign farmer. She was my dungeon clearer. She was my arena champ. Yeah, I loved her. Absolutely loved her. Still use her now, actually, for my kind of quick blender style team where I'm just kind of burning through the enemies on my main. But yeah, brilliant champ.
Totally agree with you, man. Skull Crown is nasty. Like I'm not too embarrassed to admit that like sometimes even in tag team arena battles, I'll just go into like solo champ teams, like when I'm just, you know, farming for clan versus clan or whatever, and like a Skull Crown will randomly just wipe one of my squads because she'll like get the unkillable, come back in with another AoE. I'm like, come on, man. So I agree, she's very annoying but very good champion. I guess I will go with Rector Troth. I'm just such a huge fan of this champion. Just a really, really, really good support champion with the perfect veil, the continuous heals, one of the better healers in the game. Has that great passive that synergizes with the perfect veil and the heals, has a decreased attack on the A1, and has a great revival. Single target, but on a 4-turn cooldown. We have the 60% HP, 60% turn meter, and perfect veil for 3 turns. Really great protection and very fast, almost 110 speed, 109. So big fan of Rector Troth. Just a really solid champion.
Yeah, I hate to face her in the arena actually because I know she's generally a strong affinity to most of the nukers.
Yep.
And you know that she's going to be tough to kill, and if she doesn't die, she's picking other people up and she's keeping them alive. She's solid. Like Great Faction was as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think she's a really, really good support champion. And I wasn't sure. I was kind of on the fence when she first was released. Like, is she going to be really good or not? But the revival with the heals, it works out well. Good kit. All right, I guess you're the last one up, right? Already.
Yeah. I need to bring out Cypolka, I think. Cypolka, again, got like a really unique passive. So, you know, chance to just completely block damage on one of your team. It's really cool. Great clan boss champion. You've got the decreased attack on a decent chance to land. And it comes back to that kind of block debuffs ability again. So 2-turn block debuff is just awesome for your team. Like, not just for clan boss, but also some Doom Tower fights, for Spider. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you could throw this into with that increased defense at the same time. A bit like Grizzled Jarl, just absolutely like top tier epic for me.
Oh, 100% agree with you. Cool shield too, by the way. I like her aesthetics. I agree with you, man. 100%. Good aura as well. All right, who is our biggest snubs here? I guess Sinesha, maybe.
Sinesha for me is big. Faceless, I think, is good as well.
Yeah, I think Golden Reaper is kind of a little bit underrated. You know, I mean, she's very fast. She's got the increased speed. She's got the turn meter on a 3-turn cooldown. Why don't people mention Golden Reaper as one of the better speed champions in the game? Do you think?
I feel like she is just overshadowed by Apothecary and High Katoon.
Yeah, because they're
I want to talk about me. I want to talk about number 1.
They're just, the other parts of their kit are just more attuned, I feel, to a support champ. Or to a speed champ. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I would never build her over those ones. and
she's
it
harder
doesn't
to get.
really make sense.
Yeah, she's harder to get, obviously, because Haikatoon's free, right? But Golden Reaper, like, I don't know. I think she's really good, but yet I haven't built her, so here I am, you know? Like, I'm guilty as charged. All right. I think those are the biggest snubs there as well. Let's move on to Dark Elves.
Yeah, Dark Elves, yeah.
Yeah, so there's not a ton of Dark Elves. I guess I will go... What? Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, no, there's not. Like, considering they've got a million
legendaries. Yeah.
You don't have that many epics.
I know, right? I will give you who I think I know where you're gonna go with yours, but there are a few really good ones here. I'll go with, just as I mentioned all the Halloween ones, I'll start with Madame Ceres. I mean, even after the joke of a nerf that she got, she's still one of the best, if not the best, arena debuffers in the game, right? I mean, removing all buffs, decrease attack, and decrease defense, that's all you need to know about her kit. And with the AI changes, it's so nice to go into battle, Hades, and just be like, not having to worry about her going into trick or treats or trick and treats.
Yeah. I mean, she's another one of these legendary in an epic skin.
Yes.
She does so much on that A3. You don't really need to book her either, because everything you need her to do happens without books.
You're totally right.
Which makes her super good as well. Like, you know, anyone that you can afford to not book, it's like brilliant.
Absolutely. All right, who do you have?
Yeah, so I'm going to go Sylar, another one of the voids, unfortunately, but I love this champion. Like, I absolutely love this champion. Turn meter control coming out of her eyeballs. You throw in a stun set, and she's going to do a ton of work for control as well. She doesn't really hit very hard, but everything else that she's doing is just bonkers. She's quick, and
I'm sure you used her. I'm sure you used her a lot at some point in your raid career. Do you use her now? I just maxed her finally after a long time of not. You know how it is, like some weird champions you just don't catch for a while, even though they're really popular. So I just maxed her. I'm gearing her out right now. But I'm wondering. I'm gonna do a guide on her, so I did it for YouTube, right? But I'm wondering if I'm actually going to be using her. So do you use her now is my question.
Like proper end game teams, you might still use her for a 3v3 arena champ, because her A3's like bonkers in terms of meter control and stuff.
Okay.
And I use her now and then when I'm struggling with like Doom Tower hard waves, like the content of waves. So put her in a stun set, she's controlling all day long. She is in my Dark Elves faction war team. That's where she is actually in one of my in-game teams. But
okay, I like that. All right, so I will go next with, I'm gonna go Dark Hail, man. I mean, this guy, we made a joke about it at the beginning of the video, but jeez, man.
Put some respect when you mention my name.
He is legit. They paid respect to the Kale name, because he's got 3-time hitter. Each hit has a chance to activate poisons with HP burn on the A2 and AoE decrease attack. Also has a chance at increasing the duration of debuffs on a 3-turn. And then he has 3 poisons and poison sensitivity on a 3-turn on the A3. My word, decreased crit rate on enemies. I don't know about that passive, but who cares? The rest of the kit is really insane, man. Like, he is the god of poison.
What's quite interesting actually about that passive is, if you land that on the clan boss, it will happen for the clan boss. The clan boss cannot crit once that's out there. So the clan boss has only got 15% crit rate. So this is actually interesting for clan boss.
You learn something new every day. I wonder how much delirium is going to mitigate damage on clan boss. I had no idea it was a 15% crit rate on clan boss.
Yeah, it just kind of avoids the spike. Like clan boss, the spike where you could die unnecessarily is when someone takes a crit. So it's quite an interesting one, but I just wish he wasn't so far away.
I know, man. I know.
I would love to be doing a guide on him and be like, guys, if you get this Dark Cow, he's going to be amazing. But in my mind, I'm just like, is there even any point? Like, no one's even getting Rian the Condra yet, let alone Dark Kale. It's
100%,
weird.
man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to him. But to your point, I'm gonna ask Plarium about that. I mean, they have to budge a little bit. Gosh, all right, who do you have next? Yeah.
So for me, this is probably going to be one that people might, I don't know, be anti. But for me, Spider, like.
Oh, okay.
Spider, it just comes. He's one of these people that sits in the background, and people are like, no, I don't really like him. But AoE drop defense and weaken on the same ability. Doesn't have to hit to land this, so it means it works against all affinities. He's also got an AoE drop attack as well, and he's got a speed aura for dungeons. So for me, He's brilliant in Spider,
Yes.
but also just kind of any dungeon running. He is a great support champion to set up your damage.
Yeah. I have not invested in Spider, but I also like a Force Affinity as well. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, he's slow. That's the thing. I think that's
slow.
what puts people off. But
Yeah.
otherwise, he's actually solid. Like his speed aura is great as well. So
Yeah,
people overlook him. I think he's a great champ.
I love that call out. Now I'm you put me in a tough spot here because now I'm between, Ryan, between Lua, and Caden.
Yeah, Caden's big as well.
Yeah, and maybe Crimson Helm. But I'm actually gonna go with Caden, man, because he is, even though Lua's amazing, she would probably be my second choice, but we've gone with a lot of voids here. I love the AoE decreased attack. He's easy to keep alive, damage based on defense, and of course he has a really, really good revival. 2 allies, 50% HP with the big version of increased defense. This actually helps him stay alive, and it's on a 4-turn cooldown. So I'm a big fan. Also has a provoke on the A1, albeit a small chance at landing, but he was a good addition for Dark Elves.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I would have gone with him, actually. He would have been my... although Rian is actually great. Like... Yeah. It's hard for Rian not to be in the top 5, to be honest, but...
Yeah, you're right.
Do have some good champs.
So, removing buffs from all enemies, has a weaken... And then has the revival. Revives any dead ally with 50%. That's all dead. Or revives a dead ally on a 4-turn. So why do you think that? Because I noticed you also have her really, really high on your tier list.
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't lie to you. I'm not blown away by her kit. But although I like it, I'm not trying to say she's trash. She's not. Why do you like her so
pretty
much?
Much by the time you get her, you will already have Akoth the Seared, and you'll probably have Eurost as well.
True.
So. Yeah. She gets the revive, which just picks those 2 up, and those 2 come back with way better buffed than just a sort of standard revive. Mm-hmm. Honestly, her A2 is kind of like Madame's A2, but instead of throwing out decreased defense, she's throwing out a weaken. Mm-hmm. And we know how strong Madame is, so you've got a 3-turn cooldown on a full buff wipe whilst placing weaken at the same time.
True.
It means that she can just come into an arena team and be solid. Your Doom Tower team, she's going to be like incredibly good for the wave content. I think, I think it's going to be absolutely top draw.
I agree. I agree with you there. Especially now where arena is in the game right now, where the nukers are so OP that you don't necessarily need, decreased defense and weaken. And one might argue weaken is a better debuff anyway. So plus being Force Affinity, that's it, man. You talked me into her, right? Because you sub her in for Madame Ceres. Force Affinity is nice, against magic, even though Ceres is void. And then you're landing the weaken, which is arguably a better debuff. You're removing all their buffs anyway. And then you have that revival, which is, arguably and in some situations better than the trick and treats ability on the A2 of Ceres. Cool. All right, cool.
Now different option, but I really like her.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, cool. Undead Horde.
What are we on? Undeads.
Yeah.
Undeads. So,
I forgot.
who would be my first?
Okay, you're
is it me or you?
I forgot, man. Just go.
I go. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to call out Seeker.
Okay. All right.
Seeker is a game changer for clan boss comps. Like, he's one of just 3 champions in the game. You get an extra turn after you boost turn meter, which means that he's pretty much opened up the doors to these crazy man-eater comps and crazy kind of like go twice for every time the clan boss goes.
Yeah.
So insane for that. Also just crazy for arena defense, arena offense. Very simple kit. Yeah. But it's like, but unless you understand it, it's actually not as effective. Like, so when he takes a hit, he'll throw increased defense on your team. You can set it up so that he takes that hit first and spreads the increased defense before anyone else takes their damage, which means actually they take way less damage than they normally would. He's just, cool once you understand how he works.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right on that. And I used him, for like probably 6 months as my main, turn meter booster, on my arena team. And then I would go into his A1 and provoke an enemy and I'd be happy. Sure. But you're right. It wasn't until maybe 6 months later after I stopped using him and I kind of re-geared him for like the Bat Eater, comp. Yeah. And then it's when I realized, oh wait, like he's really good on defensive teams as well in the arena. He's just very versatile. So I agree with you, man. Good call out. Okay. I will go with Vogoth. I'll go with Vogoth. I think he's
he's
one
cool.
of the better champions released this year, certainly. He has a 3-time hitter on his A1. He has an AoE provoke. Not 100% chance land rate, but he does have decreased attack, which is nice to have on there as well. But it's really about his passive, right? Whenever this champion is attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage received. Now, it used to be bugged, right? Or nerfed. I don't know if it was a shadow nerf or was bugged, but it used to be where the heal happened instantly, right? But now I guess it happens after he receives the damage, which changes things a little bit. Or the heal happens after. I don't know. I guess it has synergized with the AoEs.
It's still crazy. It's still crazy good.
He's still one of the few epic champions. He's good in a variety of different areas, but one of the few epics that you see in platinum tier arena as well. So pretty cool. And he has that leech as well. When attack places a leech debuff on the attacker, he's bringing a lot to the table. He can really add up on the heals between these two passives. So very cool and again unique support champion.
Yeah, so he was in my one team to kind of beat them all, Epic's version.
Yep.
And he absolutely hard carries like the support you need because of his passive or two passives together. Not only is he healing you when you take damage, but throwing out that leech as well just makes it so easy to keep the rest of your team alive. I love him.
Yeah, very cool. Very slow, but everything else is amazing. All right, who do we have next?
Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. I drop this.
I'm going to go with the freebie, the login reward, Dark Elhain.
Okay. You took my pick.
Was it? Yeah. I know that you're a big fan.
I love her, man.
I mean, smashes out so much damage. And I think with the amount of kind of freezes that happen in the game, like naturally through certain boss fights, like Sorath or
Ice Golem.
What's his name? Ice Golem. Yeah, she just punches out damage and kind of keeps herself in the fight. Just a great champion. Just a great champion to get as a freebie. Certainly one of the ones I would max.
100%, man. She's next to Syl, she's my favorite daily login reward champion for those reasons.
Cool.
And she's really cool as kind of like an anti-torment team in the arena to kind of like sub in there because you can put attack percentage boots on her, right? Like her speed is kind of irrelevant because if you're using her for a freeze, because she's going to strip the freeze off herself, replace it with all these amazing buffs, and then instantly go in with a hard-hitting Death Majesty. I really love her kit. She's unique and cool. I thought for sure, man, you were going to go with the mage, Mausoleum Mage, because it was you. It was you, my friend, who turned me on to Mausoleum Mage like a year and a half ago. I watched one of your videos maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. This is a long time ago, I felt like, in the early days. Because you were one of the guys who covered him back when everybody thought that he was like a vault champion. Like, what were we thinking a long time ago? Where everybody's like, Mausoleum Mage, whatever. And then you came out with a video and like, I think he's like the best epic. I forgot what you said, but one of the best epics in the game. He certainly is. He has increased crit rate, increased defense, block debuffs all on a 3-turn with the cleanse. With the cleanse and decreased speed on the A1, man. Like, this guy is a beast.
Yeah. Great base stats as well. Like, I was looking for go second arena teams at the time. And I was like, this guy just brings so much because once he gets a go, he can bring the rest of your team back into the fray. Yeah. As long as he's got a bit of resistance and kind of keep debuffs off himself, he just cleans everyone else's off. Then he buffs them up, and once that's happened, your team's not going down.
No. Yeah. Like every time I look at his kit, I'm reminded again. Like it's just like you're like, oh yeah, he has the heal too. Oh yeah. Oh, he has decreased speed. He has decreased speed. Like yeah. Oh yeah, he's pretty fast at 104. Like he's an impressive champion. All right.
You put him with Steer as well, and he's got enough buffs all day long to kill anyone.
Him and Seer, he and Seer are like the quintessential tandem who are not tandem champions. Like everybody runs them together for good reason. Yeah. All right.
Okay, let me fill in a fifth then to finish this one off.
Sure. There's a couple here.
There's a few that I could pick, but I really like Husk.
Okay. All right. Let's see what his stun is. 35, 45, 50. Okay, so it's the same. You're right. Okay. 60%.
Yeah, so it's booked same as Buren Geary. But what I love about this skill, the A2, is even if he's level 1, it hits for the same damage as if he was level 60. So, and if he's like wearing the best possible gear in the game, it hits for the same damage as if he's wearing no gear at all. So it just makes him really easy to build because all you need to do is to make it happen. Like, you smack the dragon or the spider with this skill. He's going to throw stuns out on the spiderlings, do a load of damage on the main spider, and he's super easy to build. And then the A3 in that, you just put some HP on him and he's going to do some good damage on the A3 as well. But having that 60% chance to stun whilst doing a nuke, I mean, he's just overlooked. He's overlooked a lot, and I really like him.
I totally agree with you. I you know, when I first saw him, I was just like, wait, another enemy max HP rare, epic rather? Like, that's pretty cool. And then it doesn't do as much damage, I feel, you know, compared to like Royal Guard and Cold Heart, but he brings enough, you know, to your point, enough unique abilities to the table where with that stun on the AoE, with, again, as you mentioned, a pretty hard-hitting A3. Did you hear they're going to do like a rework to the HP-based champions damage as well?
I didn't. No.
Yeah, like Cirilla, I have no idea, but Cirilla kind of mentioned it very briefly in that Russian interview, unless I read a bad translation. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see what that carries, but I'm always kind of interested in HP-based champions now because of that. All right, so anybody that we really snubbed here, man?
I mean, you got to say Gorgorab could easily have gone in.
Yes.
Place of any of those guys.
Yeah, I feel like Gorgorab too is one that my audience always lets me have it if I don't mention him. Like, people love Gorgorab. Yeah. People love this guy.
I feel like I don't agree with this, but I feel like the community down below are going to be like, "What about Lich? What about Lich?" I don't get it. I don't get it. Whenever I do a video like this, it's like, Lich, he's so good. He's carried me, and Zelatar's similar. Like Zelatar, he's kind of got this AoE sleep and stuff. They're both okay support champs, I think, but.
Yeah,
not in the same category.
I've never really looked into Lich personally, so that's a good call out. Catacomb Counselor deserves a call out for being a solid ally attack epic, but you know, they added, you know, the Fat Man, Farrakhan the Fat, obviously different affinities, but way better, you know. So I feel like, all right, I feel like that was a pretty good top 5. Anax too, people probably will call out because he's a cool clan boss guy. But,
yeah, he's just awkward to work with.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 factions left before we head on over to your channel. Demon Spawn, I will go first. Dude, I'm gonna go with
the good ones here, man.
Hopefully the obvious choice, I don't know, but Magnar is now one of my favorite champs, man. Like, this dude is a beast. He's awesome. A lot of people out there say that he is better than Trunda as an arena nuker. I guess it does depend on what affinity you're looking for, but I saw some charts, I think. Shout out to Mad Shan, or Mac Shan rather, my bad, the other YouTuber. He was kind of comparing Trunda and Magnar side by side, and it's really, really close. And you get, you know, a lot of different utility out of this champion. And I don't want to make it about Trunda versus Magnar. I just want to make it about how cool Magnar is. I know that you maxed him out, right?
Yeah, well, he's actually the only one I've gone and got on my free to play, because I know that he's going to give me tons of just it's just a lot of work on that account. But I maxed him out and I used him on my main. If you've got an HP burn champion in the mix, then he does a whole bunch of stuff which is cool, like the stuns. And if you haven't, then he's an absolute nuke. I think that kind of comparison to top nukers is, if you're not bringing like the increased attack champion to set up your nuke, and you're not bringing the decreased defense and that type of stuff, then actually he's on a par with some of the biggest nukers in the game. So for an HP based champion, you also can't reduce his damage, because there's no decreased HP debuff. So he's got a lot going for him.
Yeah, there's no increased HP, so that's a downside, but there's no decreased HP, so that's an upside. And to your point too, like, there's just pros and cons, which I think he's a perfect addition to the game because of that, right? An HP-based nuker is really cool, and you know, he has a lot of HP, right? You're gonna build him with like 70 or 60 to 100k HP, so he's tougher to kill as well. So it's cool to have kind of that more robust nuker on your team. All right.
Yeah, he's probably going to be my next 6-star actually on the free to play. So I'm pretty excited to punch him up.
Yeah, totally agree with that call. Who do you have next here? There's some good ones here.
Yeah, this is up there as, like, for me, a top 3 favorite epic of all.
Okay.
Attack the Wenderin.
Oh,
I love this dude.
Like, I did not expect you to go there. Okay.
I love this champion. Like, so I know there's some more kind of obvious ones to call out, but
no, this is cool.
I love the passive and the A3 and how he synergizes with other champions with like HP burns and freezes. Basically, if you've got the freeze going out, which is almost all the time with his A3, it's like having a full extra turn for your whole team against Spider. Just pumps turn meter all the time. And then if you've got someone else playing the HP burn role, then it's also your healer. Control, healing. He's got great buffs on his A2 as well. He's just like so much fun and so unique in the game. Really like him.
I agree. And you just mentioned Magnar on your free-to-play. Achak was one of my first free-to-play maxes, full 6-star, and really helping me out. Even that aura just helps me out everywhere. Just the defense in all battles, you know, like really solid to have that if you don't have like a Sepulture or a Tyrell or something like that. Okay, so I will go next. Man, there's a lot of good ones, but Allure has to be there. So I'll just cover her right now because of the Psychic Whip. A1. There we go. Enough said. I mean,
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, turn off her other abilities pretty much, you know. I actually do use her A2, but I usually shut off her A3, like for Fire Knight. But Allure is just an incredible champion, not just for Fire Knight, but anytime you need a consistent, reliable, decreased turn meter champion, she's really, really great. She's the best.
Yeah, I mean, she's actually got to the point where if you're doing Fire Knight 21 to 25, if you don't have her, then it's incredibly difficult compared to if you got her. Like more so than any legendary in the game, she helps you with Fire Knight 21 to 25.
100%. She's one of the few epics that I built duplicates of. You know, that's how much. That's how much I like her. I used to run. I think it was Nether Spider. Maybe I used to run a double Allure team, which was really fast and effective. Just spamming A1s. You know. Okay, so who do you have as your next?
Yeah, so I'm going to call out Umbral Enchantress.
Okay. Good choice.
Again,
good choice.
One of these epics that's been out there for a long time, but 100% chance to place a provoke if booked on her A3. She's void as well. And the cool thing about this one is she becomes unkillable. So she's provoking. She takes a ton of damage away from the rest of your team, and just allows them to do whatever they want to do. But the other thing which people overlook is actually her A2. It hits like a cannon.
Yeah.
And 100% chance to put block buffs for 3 turns. At the minute, like there's so much content where the enemy are just going to throw out loads of buffs, and once they're on, they're a nightmare to deal with. So
yeah,
for me,
I know a few people.
So big.
Yeah, I know a few people who run her in Doom Tower. You know, people who don't have like those OP Seer wave teams just for the block buffs. To your point, the only shame of the block buffs, right, is that you rarely get to use it because she's locking herself out on the A3, right? At least,
you almost have to do that first to then go into the A. Yeah,
exactly. So I would go ahead with the AI, unless you're in the arena and you just want to land the provoke first. I would probably put this as your opener. Anyway, okay, so we have one more, or am I off base?
Yeah, one more.
I'm losing count. Yeah. Okay. Man, oof, there's a lot of good ones here, dude.
Yeah, there is.
Ooh.
There is. A lot,
all right. I feel like Gorlos is a guy that everybody would. I think that's a popular choice, I guess, for the next pick. But I'm gonna be crazy here and he's a beast. And Akoth is also a beast for Spider 24, especially. Like I'm a big fan of him. But I actually want to give it. I want to go really crazy here and offend everybody watching this video and give it to Soul Drinker because
nice.
Because man. I think that he is going to be one of the best champions when the new bosses get added to the game after this Doom Tower rotation because he has bombs, man. He's one of the better bomb champions in the game. He has decreased bomb debuff detonation on his A2, decreased bombs on his A1, and then he places bombs. Each hit has
cool.
Yeah, and then he has that passive. Places 2 bombs each after he dies. So with all that said, you put him and like a reviver on the bomb Doom Tower boss. We don't have any info. You don't have any like inside info, do you? You're always getting.
Oh no, I know we're assuming that the bomb champions have got a place in the game finally. Let's hope so.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I went back and watched the ad. I'm not sure if you and they were like, you're gonna have to bring some I forgot what the explosives. You're gonna have to bring some explosives on your team as well, is what they said. So even though they didn't show bomb champions, I'm placing a heavy bet. Yeah, because like, what other explosive are you bringing? So anyway, that's just it's a fun choice. Probably not, right now, but it's a future play. Padma too, man. There's so many good demon spawns.
Yeah, I mean, we could easily pick Padma for clan boss. Tarshon is actually pretty good as well.
Yeah. Who would you go with?
Gorlos. I probably would have picked Gorlos, but
I
think it's hard actually because even Akoth could have easily been the choice here. I know it's a reward kind of champ, but AoE HP burn is like such a critical ability to have.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Easy could have been any of those, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you run the Achak Mordecai team?
I have done. I don't right now, but yeah, I used to.
Dude, it's so incredible, huh? Like they burn. So they can 2-man spider 25. They just burn it down. All right, so Orcs, our last faction on this video. Yeah, you're up first, I think.
I'm up first, so not so many epics here. I mean, the first I've got to call Cypolka. I can't not call Cypolka. She's just ridiculous.
I was ready to pounce if you weren't.
Yeah, she's like ridiculous is the right word. She is absolutely a legendary.
She is
in an epic skin.
She is.
She makes Doom Tower waves feel like you're playing a different game.
Yeah.
Compared to like you didn't have her, then you got her. All of a sudden, Doom Tower getting to the next boss is easy, pretty much.
Yeah.
You just need to bring enough buffs in your team. You need to speed tune in the right way so that drop defense lands first. But as long as you do that, she rips the buffs off, and everybody's dead. They're all dead. I mean, she is a wave specialist. She's not really like the big boss killer. But she's also pretty cool in the arena. Like people overlook her in the arena, but she's, the amount of teams we come up against now that are buff heavy, that you just rip those buffs off the enemy. They're all dead.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the rest of her kit's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But her A3 is nuts.
Yeah. I mean, knockout hits pretty hard. I know because of all the time that there's one enemy still left alive in waves, and I'm like, okay, cycle seer knockouts. But with that said, I agree with you 100%, man. She is a legendary champion. She's got to be one of the most used champions inside the entire game. Like people who have her, you're right. Like she is an account changer because we always talk about this, man. But the time this game takes, right? And that's why she's so amazing, because she saves you time, so much of it, right?
A huge amount,
Not just the Doom Tower waves, but every dungeon, basically 21 through 25, all those mobs have like 1 million HP. Not really, but a lot.
Crazy high defense, crazy high HP.
Yeah. So great choice there. I will give mine to, I guess, Duck the Pierced, or Duke the Pierced, however you say it. He's a really great addition to the game. He has an AoE, decrease attack, decrease defense, that is at 100% land rate on a 3-turn cooldown, as long as the critical hits land. Which is great, as long as you're not going against Force Affinity. It's a, Stag Knight-esque type debuff there. And then on the A3, we have the Provoke as well. So, I mean, the guaranteed Provoke on a single target, potentially more, on a 4-turn cooldown is a nice kind of addition to his kit. And that reflect damage and unkillable, it's just like, altogether, he's such a solid champion, and he's defense-based. So again, easy to keep alive, especially for progression people out there.
Yeah, honestly, because his A2 is so good, if you got him booked to a 3-turn cooldown, I actually turn the A3 off because the A2 is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's a great champ. Absolutely great champ.
Okay.
Good addition to the Orcs for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, another guy that I maxed out on my free-to-play. He's a carry. He's my carry debuffer, Okay, who's your number 3?
Number 3. So I'm going to pull out Sandlash Survivor.
Okay.
Which, again, like a fairly underrated champion, but just an absolute nuke of a defense-based champion. So she can do a lot of damage, but she's also got this A2, which increases duration of your buffs whilst decreasing all enemy buffs by a turn. She can make silly things happen in Clan Boss with this ability. So, all of a sudden you can get teams which shouldn't be able to run on a 2-for-1 cycle start running 2-for-1 because she's extending the speed buffs, and she extends your defense buffs, and it's just such a great ability.
Yeah.
And then she's got a Provoke on her A1, which is okay. She's also got a pretty unique passive. So when your team are about to take a massive critical hit, she'll stop the damage, she'll throw block damage on herself so she doesn't take any more damage, and then she'll protect your team, which is just such a cool passive. I love it. You can't time it as such, but it's like, you know what? If she's in your arena defense, you're much harder to kill.
Yeah, I was gonna say that she's great in dungeons. She's great in Clan Boss, certainly, but even in the arena, she's really good because of that passive.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, I'm not sure how she gets around with those shoes on, to be honest. But other than that,
she's got the kind of the horse feet going on here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So I've never noticed that. Thanks, Hades. Appreciate that. All right, so let's see. This is a tough one here. I'm between 2 champions, and it's Zargala and Vraska. But then again, you get to choose.
Oh, really?
Too. You might choose them, you might not. I'm gonna give it. Am I forgetting somebody? Jorg, maybe, Old Hermit. I'm wondering who you're gonna give your last one to. I'm gonna give it to Vraska because I think that, listen, Vraska does taper off a little bit in end-to-end game, right? So I feel like people, because of that, people don't necessarily give him the respect that he deserves as really still one of the best healers in the game. Like in terms of sheer healing, you know, you got Vogoth, you got Rector Troth, you have Skytouch Shaman. There's a few others too, but in terms of sheer healage, Vraska's right up there still in the conversation. He heals off of every attack, and you can see he heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. What the nice thing about this is, even if he's inflicting a critical hit, you know, with no damage, he's still healing a ton, right? Because it's on his max HP. Yeah. So he's just a great healer to have on your team, especially for progression.
I definitely found that when the new Doom Tower bosses came out, he started to feature in some of my main teams to try and beat that content because of that heal. Like just getting the heal back constantly was really, really useful. So I can see that. I can see where you're going with that. I was surprised you picked him because I feel like there's some big epics going on, but I can see where you're going.
Yeah, man. Don't hate on Vraska, Hades. Don't hate on Vraska.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
I'm just joking, man. Hades hates Vraska. You've heard it here first. I'm just going to title the video. All right, who do you have? Who did I snub?
So I feel like we could have called out Tuhak, Zargala for sure, but the one that I'm going to have to pick is Ultimate Gaelic.
Whoa. Okay.
Just like AoE HP burn is so big in this game, and he does need a bit of setup for it, but up until recently, up until like Mordecai came out, he was the only epic that could do it. And, you know, pulling those legendary champions is really tough to do. So I just feel like his A3 is so solid to help you through Spider. And also, people think, oh, that's all he does. But he's got a bunch of turn meter control going on. So he's actually good for most boss fights. And he hits hard as well. So I just think that he's got a load going on. All right. Can't be stunned on his passive as well, which is kind of cool and unique in you know, perhaps some of the faction war type of fights. But yeah, just overlooked, but actually super like awesome epic for me.
Okay, I am not a huge fan of him only because, and it's not that I'm not a huge fan. Like if you pull him and you don't have an HP burner, he's great, right? Like you hate on Vraska, I hate on Ultimate Gaelic, right? The thing is that like I really, even though he has increased attack in his kit, right? I really hate a couple things. That it's not 100% chance at landing the HP burn, right? It's a 50% chance on the A2. What is it on the A3? 50% again. And he has to be under the increased attack. Gosh, man. I hate the conditional stuff, but like I agree, he could still help a lot of players. I'm not just saying he's trash, but I'm just like I hate the conditional stuff, man.
I guess because up until recently, he was the only epic option. Like,
True.
If you didn't have some of the big hitter champions like the Venuses, and you know they're so hard to get. Up until recently, he was the only one, and honestly, he was the only person that could help a lot of people get through Spider 17 to 20 for a lot of counts.
Is there really? Yeah, there's like there's no other AoEs, huh?
Now we've got Akoff that's come in and Mordecai that's come in. But,
yes, we have a few. And so
but I still think it's big.
Okay, that's fair. So we're gonna end this there, I guess, right? That's 5, right? Zargala. I mean, we love Zargala, guys. Don't hate us. We love Zargala. we love. I like Tuhak. He puts out more damage than people think. You know.
Yeah.
And AoE decreased speed as well. And Old Hermit is great to have a reviver, right? Basically. For
sure. Yeah. Again, there's quite a few good ones. Do you like Tolf, this new one?
I pulled him, and I was a little bit underwhelmed with his kit. I remember, but I only read it once. So let's see. Each hit heals his champion on the A1, on the A2, and pure damage. Decrease target's HP 50%. Inflicts damage based on this champion's HP instead and places a stun. And the target already has less.
The A2, basically, whatever their health is, as long as he lands it, he's going to reduce their health to half.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I get some people saying they're calling the one
not against bosses though.
No, so it's basically like high level Doom Tower. He might be able to half health someone before you finish him off. Some people are raving about him. I personally really don't like him. I feel like he's very underwhelming. But again, he's one of those kind of unique champions that does something that no one else is going to do. Yeah. So maybe at some point.
I can see maybe, like, he seems like an anti-shield champion just because of the passive, right? Yeah. Increases the value of enemy shield 50% at the start of every turn. Increases HP by the same amount. That's kind of cool. So I guess I guess for the arena, if you really need a hard-hitting champion, I don't know. But like, why would I care about 50% HP even in the arena, right? Anyway,
but yeah,
cool,
the shield thing's cool.
Yeah, the shield thing is cool. All right, and his hands are really gnarly, or lack thereof. All right, Hades, thank you so much for coming on the channel, guys. This has been a long video, but hey, the fun does not stop here. Go ahead and check out HellHades YouTube, and we'll continue with the other 7 factions there. Hades, thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ash. Looking forward to part 2.
Yeah,
cheers,
me
guys.
too. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching all the way till the end, and as always, take care, guys.